Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to share some of the sensory play and practical life activities that my little one started doing around 18 months old. More importantly, I'll talk about why these activities are so beneficial for a kid's development. Babies naturally develop their sense of smell and taste through eating, but our everyday sensory activities focus more on safely stimulating their sense of touch, sight, and overall perception skills. To prevent any choking hazard, please make sure your little one is closely supervised at all times, or just simply swap out some materials in the activities that I'm going to introduce to you. For the first activity, I filled a bin with water and added a few items that either float or sink, like cut-up straws, pom-poms, small rocks, and some sparkly DIY sequins. By watching which subjects stay on the surface while the other ones stay in the water, they are learning about the concept of floating and sinking through observation. They can feel different textures and even notice how the wet sequence stays on their skin. We can also offer a small spoon so they can scoop and pour water, which is a great way to practice fine motor skills like grasping, scooping, and pouring. Some common pantry food can be a great materials for sensory activities. I use the oats here. By grabbing the oats with their hands, they can feel the rough texture of the oats. They might start trying to pour the oats out of the bag all by themselves. Through this, they are learning the concept of emptying. Look, if there's still some left inside, my little one knows to keep pouring. Later on, she began loading the oats back into the bag, which gives her a sense of filling and helps develop her hand-eye coordination. Through dumping the oats out and filling the bag with oats repeatedly, they gradually build a stronger understanding of emptying and filling. Throughout the activity, they can use their hands freely, or they can use different tools like a small scoop to transfer the oats into the bag. When she walks from one side of the table to the other side while holding a spoonful of oats, she's practicing her body coordination and balance, learning how to keep the oats from spilling. We can also adjust the level of difficulty by changing the containers with big or small opening. A clear storage container also allows her to see the oats filling up bit by bit, which really enhances the visual sensory experience. I also had some water beads, those colorful little gel balls that become shiny and slippery after soaking in water. They are so bright and fun. Kids just love them. I provided her 2 transparent cups in different sizes and a long spoon. She had so much fun scooping the water beads and filling up each cup. This simple activity offers a great opportunity to explore volume. It helps them to notice that the bigger cup can hold more water beads. And a wider cup is easier to pour into, while the narrow one makes it more likely for water beads to spill out. My little one also tried transferring beads from the smaller cup into the larger one.
Wow, good job!
At one point, she accidentally dropped the small cup into the big one. So how could she get it out? That moment turned into a great little problem-solving challenge, helping her develop critical thinking skills.
Okay, let me just do this. Here you go.
The whole process helps our little ones to develop hand-eye coordination and offers a sense of touch and visual stimulation. At the same time, they are building strength in their arm muscles through all the scooping, pouring, and transferring with as little spilling as possible. Right at the top, the beads spilled out.
It's full.
Right here, we're helping them to build the sense of what is full means. Along with her exploration, came up with a fun idea. I provided her this unicorn-shaped container with a very small opening, along with a funnel. This is her first time seeing and actually using a funnel. Because the container had a very narrow mouth, so they had to decide whether to put the beads in one by their hand or try pour them in using the funnel.
Okay, alright, let's go. Ooh, get the cup, get the cup.
For all
Good
of these
job.
activities, I highly recommend using clear containers whenever possible. They really help kids see what's going on and deepen their learning through observation. They can watch closely as the beads disappear down the funnel and reappear in the container. Such a fun and magic moment of
You
discovery.
wanna take it out from there? It doesn't work that way, sweetie.
For our next activity, I used shaving foam. It has a gentle scent that helps stimulate their sense of smell. The little hands are exploring a new sensation, the soft, creamy texture of the foam. We can add a few drops of different food colorings into the white foam and let our little ones mix them using their hands or a small stick.
You got it!
Watching the colors swirl and blend into beautiful patterns is a magical way to introduce color even before our kids are able to name the colors themselves. Some toddlers at this stage may be a bit sensitive to messy play. They might not like getting their hands or clothes dirty, or they may feel uncomfortable with certain textures. For example, the first few times we tried this activity, she didn't want to touch the foam at all. And that's completely normal. Every child develops at their own pace. What we can do as caregivers is simply offer a variety of sensory experiences and gently encourage them to participate when they are ready. The next activity is transferring water using a dropper. To make it more engaging, we can add a few drops of food coloring to the water. Bright colors always make the play more fun. We can provide some droppers that are easy for little hands to grab. At this age, they are still developing finger strength and fine motor control. It helps when choose droppers with the big soft bulbs that they can squeeze with their little hand. At first, my little one was just randomly squeezing the dropper, so I gently guided her by giving simple verbal cues. For example, when she placed the dropper into the water, I would say the word squeeze. She quickly noticed that the squeezing created bubbles in the water, and to her, that was a big discovery. Then I started pairing the two words, squeeze and bubbles together. So whenever I said, squeeze bubbles, she knew exactly what to do, which is put the dropper into the water and give it a squeeze. We also used the two words squeeze and squirt to help her understand the next step, releasing the water by squeezing the bulbs. So, with just a few playful rounds, she got the hang of how to use the dropper all by herself. The next activity is a classic Montessori practical life activity. By practicing real-life actions, our little ones naturally develop important skills like independent thinking, self-consciousness, sensory awareness, fine motor control, and hand-eye coordination, etc. When I need to cook in the kitchen, I often set up a sensory station nearby using everyday kitchen items. First, I place a tray. You can use anything like a pizza tray or a baking pan. They work just as good for catching any spills. Then I gathered a few transparent containers of different shapes and sizes. We can use common food ingredients or kitchen spice like salt, pepper, rice flour, black sesame
In the cup.
seeds,
So you put it in the
and
cup.
hemp seeds.
Good
You know,
job.
just make sure to choose ingredients that don't pose a choking
Good job.
hazard.
Keep doing it.
We can give them a small spoon and invite them to transfer the materials from one container to another. Of course, they will spill quite a bit at the beginning, and that's perfectly okay. That's actually the point of the activity. It helps them learn to control their arm and wrist movements and gradually
can't eat
improve
that,
their
sweetie.
coordination to minimize spills over time. Each kitchen ingredient has its own unique shape, texture, color, and even smell or taste, making it a wonderful way to stimulate all 5 senses while also encouraging independent exploration. If the materials are safe and clean for tasting, meaning there's no choking and poison risk, even if our little ones put some in their mouths, it won't be a problem. That gives us peace of mind to continue cooking or cleaning nearby. I hope today's activity ideas bring a little more easy, joy, and inspiration to your parenting journey. These sensory and practical life activities aren't just fun, they are powerful tools to help your child build independence, confidence, and connection with the world around them. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like, share, or leave a comment below. I'd love to hear how these ideas worked for you and your little one. Until next time, take care and enjoy every little moment of discovery and play.